Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of True Neutrals podcast. I'm your host, Monado Mudkip. Who are you people?
I'm Domo.
I am a new.
And
I
what is
am
your name,
Pryce.
new?
We got a new.
Let's say your name again, Mr. New.
I am Pryce. Pryce.
Very nice. So this week we're talking a little bit about nostalgia. What are your,
Nostalgic series.
Exactly.
So I'd say for me, biggest thing was Pokemon, for sure. Pokemon was my first ever, game. I forgot what birthday it was, but my parents bought me a DSi with Pokemon Rangers, and that was my first ever, video game.
Hell yeah.
So it holds, that's my whole childhood, really. That was the big series for me, at least games-wise.
Yeah. When Pokemon was actually good.
Yeah, basically. The first mainline entry I had was Heart Gold and Soul Silver, which has my favorite Pokemon from it, Typhlosion.
I started with Diamond. I started with Diamond. I just kind of looked at a shelf and said, "What the heck is that?" And then I got it.
Makes sense. So,
Yeah,
Pryce,
You
our
saw
new man.
Dialga and were just driven up the wall with envy.
pretty much.
I mean, to be a giant space thing that controls
To
time.
be able to control time.
And be a cool-looking dinosaur. What a
What
life
a
that
cool
was.
dinosaur. A real
And then-
dinosaur, mind you. That was a very real dinosaur who existed in real life.
From the
And then
prehistoric
Platinum
era.
came out, and I was just like, "What is that? That's even cooler than the other dinosaur."
Forget this stupid one. I want the new one.
Yeah, exactly.
The cooler, better dinosaur, but this time with flying.
The ham-fisted first world consumer strikes again.
Right,
So,
Oh.
what about you, Pryce? What was your first?
My
intro.
most nostalgic game is probably Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. That was my first ever game. I put
like
some
Lego
hours
Star
into
Wars, or
that. Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga on the Wii. That or
Hell.
Donkey Kong Country Returns. Game was a
Dude,
bop.
the-
I couldn't beat it naturally. I had to use the cheat Kong, whatever he was called.
oh, are
when I
you
was
talking
a kid-
about Funky Kong? How could you forget about Funky
No,
Kong?
not Funky Kong. What was the
Oh, it
Super
wasn't?
Kong? It was just like Donkey Kong, but like a matte white with a red tie.
Oh,
was
was
it
that the
blue
one in
tie?
Smash?
No,
his
it was
alt?
a cheat. Yeah, oh, yeah, it was an alt in Smash. It was
Yeah,
just
I know you're
a
talking
Kong that completed the whole level for you. And I used it a lot when I was like 6, but I played it again recently and I beat it legit, and it still holds up really well.
So,
Nice, nice.
is Super Kong comparable to who played 3D World, the white Tanuki suit?
Oh,
No,
the Golden Leaf?
you don't even play the level. It's like a movie. That
It
just,
just does it for you.
it literally plays the whole stage for you. And when I was a kid, I thought that I didn't know it was part of the game. I thought it was someone at Nintendo playing the game for me. Like it
They
just,
they
like
came
there was
in to play
someone
for
just
you.
sitting there at their desk and like waiting to take over.
They're just watching your playthroughs like, okay, this kid needs help.
Like it's like the FBI agent meme. Like there's someone assigned to every kid, waiting
I like
for
that
the
idea.
dire call to action.
This kid sucks at Donkey Kong. I guess I
They're
need to
just
help
sitting
him.
there scoffing and eating snacks the whole time, and they're getting paid copious amounts of money for it.
They have a whole room watching you,
Yeah, yeah.
whenever you make you miss a fall, you just hear the whole room erupt.
Yes. Like whenever I turn on the game, they get the whole like, "Hey, this idiot's playing the game again." Everybody comes and looks and laughs at my pain.
It's like an alarm sound to the
As
whole
I
building.
I fail the World 4 boss for like the umpteenth billionth time.
They still find it just as hilarious.
Yes. It's funnier
Oh.
every time.
I mean, speaking of nostalgia, I never had a Wii because I was a dumb little baby kid who was fine with my DS, even though I wish I had a Wii now. So I don't have nostalgia for Wii Sports or games like Donkey Kong Country.
To be fair, the DS was is and always will be satiating because there's just so much in its library.
No, I totally agree. But seeing my friends and other people who have all these experiences with Wii games does make me a little bit envious because I never had it and I wish I did have it now.
hmm
If you understand what I'm saying, I wish as a kid I had it, knowing what's on it and how good the games were. But the DS was definitely good.
My first 2 games were on the GameCube and Game Boy Advance. I was playing, I think Wind Waker. But I vaguely remember Majora's Mask, just like a little bit. You know, like that first part where you have to find all the bomber boys and.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like the first moon cycle, like
Yeah.
the base?
But where you're stuck as the Deku Scrub.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I did
and then
that
I always got stuck in the tunnel system, like the sewer system in Twilight Princess, and then I also played Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire on the GameCube.
Even though I never
Classic.
owned a GameCube, I went to a daycare and they had a Wii and a GameCube, but I mainly stuck around the GameCube. So I actually have nostalgia for Double Dash and Melee. Sorry, Melee. That's the one on the GameCube.
Yeah, like I don't know what it was about with daycares back then, but all of them had like GameCubes, and one of my daycares had Kirby Air Ride, and that like
Yo, that would have been sick.
that game is so amazing.
I remember when I would go to daycare, all the kids would join to play Melee. And I always pick Kirby, and I would just like steal everyone's powers, but like keep erasing them, so I could just keep sucking them up for more powers.
Dude, I was so mesmerized whenever somebody got the home run bat for like the first time, and then they use that C stick, and I'm just like, how the heck do you get that home run animation? Oh,
You gotta hit the yellow.
I know, but I didn't
funnies.
like. I wasn't even paying attention to that at the time because my finger, like my tiny baby hands, were thinking like, what the heck can I do with this thing?
Just absolutely entranced by the buttons. There's
Yeah,
so
exactly.
many. There's like 4. What do I,
I mean,
do?
a controller is quite big for like a kid.
Yeah, the GameCube
Especially the
controller is
GameCube
kind of
controller.
It's bulky.
Game controllers are bulky. Like, so I didn't grow up in the N64 area, but I would hate to hold like an N64 controller. It looks kind of uncomfortable.
It's made for
It's
three-handed
super
people.
awkward.
Was that
It-
big
it's-
piece in the middle with the stick?
I mean, like, you eventually learn how to get used to it because I've been playing on N64 for a little bit. Because most playstyles only require you to use 2 of the buttons. Like, two of the little
2 with the grips.
handlebars. Yeah. So that's how they got around the whole 3 thing. I think that's how developers took lemons and made lemonade.
Yeah.
But
It's just so weird to me for it to look like that.
Nintendo creates a new contraption. Everyone initially hates it, and then actually learns that it's a blessing. Because
No, I
this
mean,
is why. This is why Nintendo is not a company. Nintendo is a mystical, infallible entity that doesn't really. I don't get the impression of it like it's a corporation.
It's like
I think it's just because of
Santa
how it's
in a way.
run. Yeah, it's kind of Santa-esque.
Where like I understand they're a corporation, they make money, but you can tell they love making what they make.
They can't run a company, but they can make a game.
Like what I'm saying, even consoles, they're not afraid to take risks in what they make.
Mm-hmm.
Like think like the Wii, they were the first ones to do that. Think of like even the Switch, with like
well,
the
and everything,
detachable
even
controllers.
everything after the Wii, just was a shameless cash grab of it. Like the Wii actually captured the sense of motion gaming, and everything after just didn't feel as good because you could tell developers didn't put their hearts into it.
Nintendo, to me, seems that they always put their hearts into almost everything they do. Like, obviously there's some cash grabs and stuff, but what Pryce was saying earlier, they don't seem like a company, they just seem like people who just like making what they make. Game consoles, games, whatever, really.
Mm-hmm.
They don't seem to have, like, a big corporate agenda all the time compared to, like, something like
Their agenda,
Sony.
like, is of course to make money like any other company, but it's all they do
But-
seem like they genuinely want to make a good product and games that are
They
fun.
want to make fun.
Iwata is still the face of that mindset. He had,
Yeah.
Oh, no, was it Reggie? It was Reggie who said, why make a game if it's not fun? And I
If the
feel like
game
that's
is,
still holds
if
up
it's
today.
not fun, why bother? Yeah.
That one.
Yeah.
I still feel like Iwata also had that mindset. He's like one of my favorite people,
Yeah.
where he would make sure like each game had all kinds of new content, and he liked the game so much that he would like even like slash his like money he got.
He entirely, like, they were crunching at that point, and he put Kanto into Gen 2 of Pokemon.
That is like such a feat for the time.
Bless
Exactly.
us.
You would never think for a little like Game Boy cartridge to have two whole like regions, and Kanto was pretty big.
It still blows my mind. Like, I'll just look at a Switch card. I remember the first time when I got my Switch, I just looked at the Breath of the Wild card and reflected on how much was in that game. And it's really amazing, like, what modern technology is able to do. And
so
how
far.
How it's... Like, you can fit that whole world into, like, a 1x1 inch...
Going from, like... N64 cartridges, which are like these big boxes,
big blocks,
to like, yeah, and then to the Switch cartridge. Like, Zelda isn't even that big of, like, the original Zelda. I mean, it was big for the time, but looking back at it now, it's a game that can be completed like that, except like they added padding. A lot of games added padding back then to make their games feel longer.
Yeah.
Something like, I feel like for artificial length in that sense is why the games were so difficult back then.
Right. Like, there are NPCs that tell you, oh, vague comments, but, and there's no way to tell unless you actually know.
Or just the general difficulty of a lot of games.
When,
right.
Like, home...
Because they had different game design back then. Back then, whenever they were making games, they thought like arcade cabinets where you just had to keep feeding it quarters to
That's
keep
exactly
playing.
it. Yeah, like when home gaming became popular again with like the NES into like the SNES and Genesis, they were still like porting over arcade games that were intended to like be ludicrously difficult and kill you really fast. And now they have to sell it and stretch it out from like a 2-hour game into like a 6 to 8 hour game. And that usually involves just, you know, spawning enemies in places that are completely unfair, or just other absolute garbage that we've gladly mostly grown out of.
I mean, for me, the main thing
I've only played Earthbound.
The main thing I point to with like the whole enemy thing, or like just artificial difficulty, is like the first Mother game, where it was like so hard that they had to patch it in later versions. If I remember, like, you got, like, no XP from kills, enemy spawns were ludicrous, it was just, like, super hard, and it was like a NES game.
Yeah, yeah.
I played Earthbound and Mother 3, which are both good,
Earthbound.
but I know that the first Mother was very, very hard.
Earthbound, like, all the Mother games are still on my list. I haven't even touched, like, I have Earthbound on the SNES Classic. I just haven't touched it yet. I have every intention to do so.
It's a really good game. I do think it's a bit overhyped, but I still really enjoyed my time.
It's more about the journey rather than
the actual like fights and content.
Right.
I definitely think Mother 3 lives up to the hype that everyone has.
I still need to beat it. I just got to Duster's part of the story, but
it's an amazing game in my opinion. Like, Earthbound doesn't completely for me live up to the hype, but Mother 3 does in every aspect: music, gameplay, story. It's amazing. Now back on nostalgia.
Yeah, I was just about to bring us back onto nostalgia. You want to talk about like TV?
Probably like I would say like cartoons.
Yeah, cartoons.
Like, we all like watch cartoons as a kid.
What was your go-to channel for kid shows and cartoons as a kid?
I'd say I had two. Probably Cartoon Network and Nickelodeon.
Yeah. I was more of a Disney XD and Cartoon Network kind of guy.
I did watch Disney XD a lot, but if we're talking cartoons specifically, it was those two.
In my house, Cartoon Network was banned for a really long time. I don't really know why. Because
they thought it was too vulgar and adult?
Yeah, maybe. But I watched...
It did have Adult Swim.
I watched a little bit of Disney XD and Nickelodeon and just like Avatar: The Last Airbender and all that stuff.
If we're talking like live action not cartoons, live action shows, Zeke and Luther was my stuff back then.
My like to this day favorite cartoon / kid show that I've ever seen is Chowder.
I love
never
Chowder.
forget Chowder.
Chowder's a good one.
Chowder's
that
a very good one.
and Pair of Kings on Disney XD.
Oh.
Pair of Kings was my jam
Oh,
too.
I remember. Didn't like they switched out one of the actors.
Yeah,
and got
I
like, a
hated
car
it.
accident.
I hated
got,
it.
like,
They switched
DUI.
out one of the kings.
He got a DUI or something.
Did he really? Is that
I
why he
think
left?
so.
I'm just now learning about this. I thought his
Yeah, I
contract
think he
just
got like
ended.
a DUI. No, he got like a DUI, and then they actually replaced him. I brought it up earlier, Zeke and Luther. They replaced him with the blonde actor in Zeke and Luther,
Oh
Yeah.
who also got into like a home robbery. I think he got into another crime.
What happened
the
to these
blonde
people?
actor. I think
It's
there's like a Disney XD curse.
Well, it's like the
rather than
Disney
same.
curse too, because like what's her face? But yeah, just it's a Disney curse. Like a lot of people, like Miley Cyrus, and
Yeah.
other people straying further away as they got older and pushed away from the Disney formula.
All right.
Disney-
We're changing the episode to what happened to the Pair of Kings cast.
Is that gonna be the new title?
That's perfect.
So I'm gonna bring it back to childhood cartoons. My all-time favorite childhood cartoon, which I still think stands up today, is definitely Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, Phineas and Ferb is great. Like,
It was such an amazing show.
it's not serialized, so like you can watch it at any point and still know what's going on, and it's just crazy and Wayne and Zacky. That's a word.
Zacky.
Zack.
Well, one thing I liked about it is that it didn't treat the kid like an idiot.
Oh yeah,
It made clever jokes that the kids could get. Like, you could say they were dumbed down, but they weren't like baby level. Like, they were really smart. My parents even enjoyed it when I was watching as a kid. It had a lot of charm to it that I feel like a lot of like kid shows don't have now. You can tell there was like love poured into making the show.
have you seen the newest series made by the same people, Milo Murphy's Law?
I haven't because I don't watch like TV that much anymore.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, like, TV's dying, and honestly,
Yeah, streaming services are the wave of the future.
but like not it. There are too many at this point. The market's overflooded, and it's pretty much becoming cable again.
Yeah, and then you know what's gonna happen? There's gonna be so many streaming services that people are gonna go back to cable.
Right. So
It's like, what happened with streaming services is that like it was a good idea at first, like like Netflix.
yeah, where there was one place where
And
you
then
can get everything.
When there was one, and it was great, and then everyone tried to do it, and now now the price to get all the streaming services is like almost the same as cable.
Exactly.
Like you're paying like 100, maybe 200 a month, depending on what you want, and you know what plans you get. And the thing is, people are just gonna go back to cable now because they can literally get the same shows on cable.
Right. So, what about movies? Like, what movies did y'all watch as kids?
Oh, as kids, so if we're talking good movies, Monsters Inc. and The Incredibles.
Yeah, those are amazing movies. Like,
How about you, Pryce?
I'm sorry, I'm just gonna interrupt real quick, and I'm on the Pair of Kings fandom wiki
oh no.
on one of the actors, and I found this comment that says, "Hi, Brady Parker. I'm Brady. Catherine have. We met before. ILLU are cute. We have the same name. ILL kiss you. I give you my phone number. Enjoy. You're so hot."
That is beautiful.
This episode
It's
is
like Shakespeare.
This
This is
episode
on a comment for
sponsored
Gino
by
Sager's
that comment right there.
fandom page.
That's beautiful.
That's the title of the
That's-
episode.
That works. Alright, so what were you saying, Monado Mudkip, on your childhood movies? Sorry, I interrupted you.
So, like, I remember going to the movies once for my birthday to see Astro Boy. What have any of you seen that movie?
Yeah. It was like a live. Wait, was it 3D or live
It was
action? Or
3D.
was it a blend? It's 3D. I forgot. I thought it was a blend of live action. and
No.
3D.
No.
Maybe my.
But like,
my
okay,
memory's-
so I didn't know this back then, but Nick Cage was the voice actor for the father.
Seriously?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
I know this just now.
This. We were having like mind blowing revelations today.
I'm learning so much.
But I don't know the original material that much for Astro Boy. I mean, it was a really good movie, and I enjoyed watching it with my friends on my birthday. And going back to like nostalgic games, that was also the birthday I got Bowser's Inside Story. which is
I have not beaten that game.
I didn't either at the time. Like, I got to certain points where you had to like mash buttons, and my hands couldn't do it. But
I got stuck at one point in the game, and I never got out of it. It's when Mario and Luigi first go into Bowser's stomach.
oh, you got
So
Bowser's Inside
you know when
Story?
you're a kid. Yeah, I was in the story. You know when you're a kid, you don't really read what's going on. You just kind of, haha, funny game.
Look at the pretty colors.
So I would skip through the dialogue, and I would have no idea where to go. So I just quit the game because I was like, I don't know where to go.
That's what I
after
would
this.
do every time. I had this GBA Lord of the Rings game.
oh
But I,
no,
I absolutely refuse to read any of the dialogue because it's boring and old and stupid. I want to run around the map and kill orcs and do nothing else because I couldn't figure out where to go.
yeah, that was probably the wrong game to give you, especially considering
I didn't get it. I found it in a desk drawer that I did not
Dad have
previously own.
Wait, did your dad have it? or something?
No. I got a desk used,
just-
and it was just in it.
Oh,
It's like the
that's
setup
funny.
for a creepypasta, and then nothing happened. No, it wasn't. It was
It was a
an
cursed
SCP
game.
where it was too boring, and I didn't know where to go because I couldn't be bothered to read the dialogue at 6.
It's like the procrastination run.
Yes, it's the procrastination rush.
You could have uncovered like some death of a child, and you were just so.
It's
could've-
footage of actual
too
human
bored.
murder, and it's just the actual Lord of the Rings game with boring dialogue.
So, on the topic of childhood games, I have this one childhood game moment. So, you know when you're all kids, you'll ask like an adult, you know, like a parent or something, to help you with a game.
Yeah, I had to do that.
Back to that daycare I was at, I would bring my DSi, and my first Pokemon game was Pokemon Rangers Guardian Signs.
Oh yeah.
And in the game, you can draw signs, and I believe you either use them to catch the 3 legendary dogs, you know, Raikou, Entei, Suicune.
Yeah.
Or you use them to catch them or summon them. I don't exactly remember. I just remember
It's
the time to
both.
them. And they couldn't do it, so I had to ask a daycare worker to help me. Like I came up, I was like, "Can you help me with this?" And they drew the sign for me.
Did they know?
Oh, they didn't know, but it was like a okay. So how it was is that like the sign was like on the screen. It was like a white outline, and you had to draw it with your cursor.
Okay.
yeah.
So
For some reason, I was having such a hard time.
another thing that like blew my mind as a kid was the underground part in Diamond and Pearl. That was so cool.
Oh. I replayed Platinum a while ago, and I you know, Nintendo Wi-Fi's dead. But I got under there, and I was like, this would be so cool if it was still alive.
Yeah, especially with all your friends and stuff. And another thing was like all the Pokemon cards. That was, I had no idea how to play the game back then, but they were so cool
Oh,
to
yeah.
just collect.
Pokemon cards were just for collecting back then. They were like, hey, look at this cool card I got.
Yeah,
And all your friends were like, I want that one.
collected Pokemon cards religiously for 3 or 4 years, and I never once even attempted to learn how to play. I just had
It
them
was
as,
just like
as
a
little,
sign of
little shiny
wealth.
things to put in a binder.
I remember in my school, like Pokemon cards had like wealth assigned.
Yeah.
So you'd bring like a powerful card. They'd be like, yo, I'll give you 20 cards for this. I was like, yo, deal.
I
Yeah.
didn't ever trade my cards. I mean, unless it
My
was like
elementary school had a whole like cartel. Like there were
Cartel with
like
Pokemon cards.
there were like shiny card launderers. Like the full art EX cards, there was like
were
seriously there was like a cartel that
Was there, like,
controlled and artificially inflated their value. It was always the older kids that took advantage of the little kids, you know.
well, yeah.
Because they knew the system at that point.
Was there like a fake card market? Like they
Yes,
they'd try and
that's
give you fake
exactly what I
cards?
was about to say. There was like the scum of the earth who would make fake legendary cards and then trade it for my real Blastoise,
Oh.
Devin.
Dude, I remember. no need to name
Devin.
names. But I remember when I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. This dude tried to sell me like the Egyptian god cards, which I was. Super,
Yeah, Ancient Mew.
Yeah, I tried
I
to
have
get
two
like.
of those actually.
I used to have all 3, but I sold all of them. I used to have like he tried to sell me Sly for the Sky Dragon, but it was just a printed out card.
Yeah. One time I literally got so mad I took some kid's fake card and I ripped it in half in front of him just to prove that it was paper.
Power.
Yeah.
Power
It's a
move.
power move.
That reminds me
I
of
remember,
like, my brother.
And then I learned that he didn't know it was fake and he cried.
Aw.
Yeah, so it's kind of a bad day. I didn't know. I thought I was making a point. I thought I was really showing him what for.
That kid's life is gone
probably
now. You just ruined his entire career.
Sitting at home, like, just crying.
He's still on it. He still thinks about it on a nightly basis.
To this day, traumatic event.
He has a dartboard with my face on it, just
waiting for the
just
day.
biding time and waiting.
So speaking of Pokemon cards, for my birthday, so you know, back then I think when Black and White came out, they'd have these like big sets of Pokemon cards, and they came with like a huge Pokemon card.
Oh yeah.
I remember one day, I got it for like my birthday, and I think I put it in like my school binder, and I was showing it like to all my friends at school, and then like it got like creased.
Oh.
And I got so sad. I had like a breakdown.
Oh.
It was this big Zoroark card.
Speaking of breakdowns, my okay, so I was riding the bus and somebody gave me their action replay, it gave me it completed my Pokédex, and I was just like, oh, this is so cool. I gotta show all my friends once I get to school. And I was like showing it off in class, and my teacher's just like, what is this? And she took it away from me, and I got so angry with her. So.
Oh, speaking of action replay, I used to use that back in the day.
It was so cool.
So, I would bring my DS to school, right? And you know, in the older Pokemon games, you couldn't get like other starters, so like like Squirtle, Charmander, whatever. Mm-hmm. I'd come in with my DS, and I'd be like, "Hey, yo, guys, look what I got!" And I'd have like all like the other starters, and everyone would go insane. And I would actually bring my action replay to school just to show off.
Uh-oh, Dominic.
And one day, in the middle of recess, it broke. And like, my whole like facade just crumbled.
Oh no!
Baby,
you were no longer
like all
the
my friends
cool
were laughing
kid.
at me. No longer the cool kid with the exotic Pokemon. The what?
The KK, the cool kid.
Don't add another one.
Okay. Good save.
I'm watching you. Keep it safe, yeah. But I then tried to bring it to GameStop because I was desperate. My action replay is like, yo, I can't fix this. Saddest part of my entire childhood.
I'm imagining you walking out of the store, just head hung low.
Do you want to
drooping like a cartoon basset hound, just dragging your feet back to the car, having to explain to your mom that you broke your whole DS by using a cheat software.
No, it wasn't my DS. It was my action replay.
Oh, your action replay broke.
My action replay broke, and I tried to fix it, and I was so sad. I actually I still have my old DS. That's what I replayed Platinum on recently. It has these old dinosaur stickers because I was really into dinosaurs as a kid, and I keep them on there just for like sentimental value.
Yeah, I have this old, tattered Nerf DS case that I got at the same time.
Oh, the 3DS
so
ones?
Cool back then.
I put it on the day I got my DS Lite, and I have not taken it off because I do not know how.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure it out when I was 7, and I can't figure it out now.
Once those things are on, they're never coming off.
Oh, it's never coming off. I would kind of like to get my DS Lite in its original kind of sleek state, because I really want to play Black and White 2 again.
Baller games.
But that case is never coming off.
Okay, so my stupidest mistake as a child, I traded Kirby Superstar Ultra for Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 4.
Hey, that's funny. I made a bad trade for Lego Harry Potter too.
Hey!
The curse of Lego Harry Potter.
I traded Lego Indiana Jones for Lego Harry Potter, and
Lego
Indiana Jones is a better game. Probably because I couldn't figure out how to beat Lego Harry Potter, because I couldn't read. Wouldn't read the dialogue.
There's dialogue in those. There's no dialogue in a Lego game.
No, but there's direction, and I couldn't be bothered. You want me to pay attention to context clues?
Weirdo.
Head empty, no thoughts. I'm playing Lego.
Just let me whip things.
I knew how to play Lego Star Wars because I liked Star Wars a lot as a kid, so I knew where to go. I knew what all the movies, where they took place. But I had never seen the Harry Potter movies until I was 12 or 13.
So recently?
Yeah, within the last few years.
A few years back, yeah. My two childhood consoles, going back on nostalgia, were the DS and 3DS. Like I said, I didn't get a home console until my Wii U. Mm-hmm. So I had the DS and 3DS, and both of them are my favorite consoles of all time.
And then you got stinky console.
Wii U I'm gonna say it till the day I die. It was a bad console, but amazing games.
Wii U had some bangers.
Like Splatoon
Xenoblade
was
X.
really good. Xenoblade X, the Wind Waker HD
And
port.
to be fair, I don't think we're getting Xenoblade
Pikmin
X
3,
anytime soon.
excuse me. Not a single one of you said Pikmin 3. That game is one of the best on
Sorry,
the
we're not
console.
stinky Pikmin.
I'm not a Pikmin
you
fan.
take it back. Take it back right now.
I don't like Pikmin.
Nope, not taking it back. Not happening. You want to go play with your fun little plant creatures? Huh?
Yes, I would. I would very much like to play with the little funny plant creatures if they would bother to release a new game.
Hey, guess what? Go play Hey Pikmin.
No, I disowned it.
Everyone did. It was like Chibi Robo Zipline.
Or
This game blows.
Federation
They blows.
or Federation Force.
We're gonna become like the official like Scott the Woz fanboy podcast.
I haven't even watched him recently. I just remember some of his like channel memes.
He did
Guy-
like the 3 worst Nintendo games, and one of them was Chibi Robo Zipline.
Guys, next podcast is Gex Night.
Oh no.
Yo! We all have to play Gex on the podcast.
Oh. How about it be in celebration of Gex Night?
No,
Yes,
we're playing Gex. We're
I
playing
have
Gex.
absolutely
Gex
no. I
Night
can tell you
retrospective.
everything I have to say about Gex right now in less than 15 seconds.
It's the opposite of
Do it.
Chibi Robo Ziplash.
Just say like quip : that's the game.
He's a lizard. I know, community genius here.
This is like a
I
dinner
think-
party at Martin Scorsese's house. That's the whole game.
There's no way you are Gex.
I am Gex.
You are Gex.
Gex reincarnated.
Wow.
I think we've been straying a little bit off topic here, my friend.
Yes. So, I mean, we kind of strayed away from movies. Pryce, are there any movies that you like adore from your childhood?
Oh, so many. But
Aladdin.
let me raise you a question.
Lay it on me.
What sense resonates the best with nostalgia for you? Because I know some people it's smell. For me, it's sound. It's like sound design from media resonates the most. It's what brings back memories the best.
I would say combination of sound and sight.
I
Like
can't say that I really know on my end.
like sound definitely. Like I'll listen to like I bring back Pokemon again because they all have good soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
But I listen to the Black and White soundtrack and I feel very nostalgic. But even seeing like a very old game logo brings it back. But I think that sight is for everybody though.
Yeah, I
Like,
definitely.
if you see an old game, you're gonna get nostalgic.
I definitely say sound because, like, I mean, in the career I'm planning on getting into, sound is definitely a big
Music
part of it.
education, right?
Right. So sound is definitely a big part of it, and yeah.
Recently, I've been on nostalgic like game music binge, and I've been listening to the old 3DS eShop themes, and they're actually really good.
Huh.
There's like 16 eShop themes because they change it every couple of months.
Speaking
And
of music, like, what bands did y'all listen to?
I kind of grew up. A lot of my nostalgic music is what my dad liked. So
Yeah.
like a lot of stuff
Same
from
with
when he
me
was in
and my
college.
parents.
So like Foo Fighters, REM.
the whole mountain explodes.
Yeah, like the Yellowstone erupts because you had to destroy your Gex copies, so I couldn't get them.
It's what I had to do. It's the ultimate goal.
It's the only way.
God forbid I get 600 copies of Gex. That on top of my existing 800.
You would just be too powerful.
I could make-
You would
I
become
could-
Gex himself.
Yes, like I can
Well,
actually summon Gex.
We're also not entirely sure if he's Gex reincarnated yet. So
Well, what I would think you would do is just melt all the Gex like discs into like a fluid and put it into his blood, slowly transforming him into Gex.
You know, if
Complete
you
with the
can
suit.
redeem 100 copies of Gex for one copy of Croc.
It-
So I
it's-
would probably just do all of the conversions and then turn all
He's-
those Croc into one copy of Banjo-Kazooie and then throw it away.
he's pretty much Soma Cruz from like Castlevania at this point. Except Gex.
Yes.
Speaking of N64 games, do you guys have like? I know you guys didn't grow up with N64.
Where the heck did
but you go
N64
anywhere?
games come from?
He said Banjo-Kazooie.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about...
Banjo-Construey.
Construey. Now, I know you guys haven't like grew up with it, but like, did you go somewhere to like have any nostalgia for those
Dude.
games? Sort of like how I have nostalgia for GameCube.
I mean, I own one now, but that's about it.
I know my friend, me and Pryce have the friend. He bought it from like a flea market, like a really cheap price.
Oh, I used to do that. I used to try to flip like classic games, and I did make some profit. I bought like a almost perfectly new copy of Melee and like Final Fantasy X and like a old Atari still in box at like flea markets, and I would flip them on eBay.
Nice.
Little side hustle.
I need to go to some flea markets.
Flea markets are fun, but I'm always a little hesitant because I know they're covered in people's filth.
Well, yeah, especially now.
I don't like shopping that much, as a whole.
No, when I
to...
have the choice, especially recently, I'll do all my shopping online. But there's just some charm about like, it feels kind of homely and quaint to go and like haggle down a price, you know?
No, I can understand that. I haven't gone to many in my life. I think, after the whole virus thing's over, I might want to go there and see if I can find any like old game consoles.
I mean,
just for the novelty of having them.
I wouldn't say right after the pandemic, or I don't know. People might be getting
no, not right after.
No, but I'm saying like people might be getting done with their games, and then they say, "I don't want these anymore."
Yeah.
I think that's
my
what,
worry
that's
is
what,
that
like, because you know how Ghost of Tsushima is like sold out everywhere.
No,
I think okay. So basically, physical copies of Ghost of Tsushima, at least in like my area and my state, are.
Did you say Tsushima?
Ghost of Tsushima, or it might just be Tsushima. Yeah, all right.
Whatever. The funny game. The funny game.
I over enunciated, but point is, like, it's the physical copies are sold out at virtually every store, and I feel like everybody's gonna, because it dropped right at the perfect time when everybody is at peak boredom with nothing to do.
Yeah, unless you already like have games or like replaying them, you're bored.
Well, I'm part of like,
or you can pirate like us.
My dad just bought Ghost of Tsushima today. Like, I'm no different. But
like, I kind of want to get the game. I have a friend recommending it to me, but I have so many to finish already.
Yeah.
Like game-wise. Like, I have to finish my Kingdom Hearts 2 run. I have to finish Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and then I want to start. So Wind Waker is like my favorite Zelda, but I've actually never finished it. Weirdly.
Because like the end of the game is so tedious.
No, it's not even that. I got to like Temple of the Gods, and for some reason I just stopped there.
Okay, but you know what the ending entails, right?
Yeah, I've seen the ending.
No. I'm saying like you have to go to Tingle, buy a map, which cost a lot.
Oh
of rupees.
yeah, the
Triforce.
The Triforce scrolls,
yeah,
right? Or the maps.
Yeah. They cost a ton of rupees, and they're really hard to find, and they're scattered all over the map, and it's just a long and painful process.
See, I know for a gameplay reason that sucks, but as a story reason, that's why I love like the Wind Waker Link. Because, like, I know he is a reincarnation of Link, but it's so cool that he wasn't just, like, you are the chosen hero. He had to actually, like, go and make the Triforce.
He had to prove himself to the gods.
It wasn't even prove. He literally just said, I'm gonna get the Triforce. I'm just gonna make it, dude.
Yeah.
That's why, like, he's, like, my favorite Link. Because he wasn't, like, blessed with this power. Like, yeah, he technically is a reincarnation. But he had to go get it. He had to go get all his power.
Right. Well, I think we should start wrapping up soon. You guys have anything else to say?
No, we just passed 45 minutes. I'll cut this out, but like, I feel kind of good.
Yeah.
So if we're still in the cutout section, I think later on in the podcast we should like have like a revamp episode of this, just cover more stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, I think this should be a legacy topic that I think we should come back to in the future.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So
let's get back into it real quick.
All right, 3-second pause.
3, 2, 1.
No, like a pause of like a.
Okay. If you like what you heard, please consider subscribing and liking the video. Turn on notifications, and if you
all the YouTube stuff.
Yeah, all the YouTube stuff, and also considering following twitter.com/neutralstrue. That's our Twitter account.
We're